track. All the field event actions being concluded. Just the men's and the women's 4x100 metres.
That's right. So really interesting to look at team selections for this. First of all, Turkey had a somewhat unexpected rerun in order to make it through. They felt they were impeded by Finland, so they had a solo race, and they just beat Italy's time. Yes, Italy, the Olympic champions, although they were without Lamont Marcel Jacobs, the individual 100-minute winner here and in Tokyo, picking up a slight injury. Warming up, also without Filippo Tortu, who then got a medal in the individual 200 metres. And so, this race may have a slightly different complexion. Turkey were in fact the silver medalists in Berlin in 2018. What about the British quartet? They brought in Zharnel Hughes and Nethaneel Mitchell-Blake. So as a result, they have 3 of the 4 who are the world bronze medalists and the Commonwealth champions. Jeremiah Azu, of course, got the 100-metre bronze, comes in as well. Couldn't take part for England in the Commonwealth Games. He as well, she finished 5th individually. So it's this settled Turkish team with Barnes, Harvey, Özde and Özkan, which stays the same for the final. Van der Benden, Merckx, Paco and Vlemings, with the 3rd athlete they're brought in for this final. The Netherlands won the women's 4x4, of course. Terrific performance from Femke Bol. They'll keep their team the same. And Britain keen to get out and get on with it to try and win yet another European 4x1 title. But the Germans, a national record for them in qualification. 37.97, only 200s faster than they ran earlier this year, so clearly an up-and-coming team. 2 Zeze brothers, Matteo and Jimmy Vico, who ran a fantastic final leg to bring France home to qualify. And then the Swiss team with the experienced Pascal Mancini on the first leg. Lestrade, Svensson and Race completing their team. The Polish quartet looking up to the sky. Will they be looking at a medal in this final? Perhaps outside contenders here. Brzezinski, Slobodkowski, Vikrota and Kopech, part of their quartet here. And there is the trio of medalists in the women's high jump. Jaroslava Mahučík, Maria Vukovic and Angelina Topic, either side of her.
So there's the women's high jump result. Confirmation. Jaroslava Mahučík, 195. Maria Vukovic getting Montenegro's first ever medal at these European Championships with 195. Bronze goes to Angelina Topic. Not a classic competition. You have to turn the clock back to 1974 when it was last won at that sort of height, but nevertheless an enthralling one.
A free for starting off for the Dutch. On the Polish athletes answer of Germany, who'll hand over to Lucas Ansa-Petra on the final leg. There's Kevin Kranz. Well, the German team have quite often won the 4x1 title through the age groups, but not often in the senior competition, but they have got a squad that's rising through the ranks. Britain, 3 consecutive golds for them. Harry Akins-Ariti and Tommy Roundan taken out for this final in place of Zharnel Hughes, who looked fantastic individually, as did Nethaneel Mitchell-Blake, to be fair. So close to the end of the competition now. And it was right at the end of the evening that the British team, after Eugene sat and did their interviews, and while they were on air on the radio, they had a food delivery come and greet them. Of course, much deserved after that hard work. And for those athletes who've competed individually as well along championships across the 100 and 200 spread through the 7 days of competition here in the Olympiastadion in Munich. So 37.79, the championship record for France back in 1990 in Split, where pretty much all of these athletes weren't born. So here we go then, the final of the men's 4x100 meter relay, and one of the events in which we're treated to a special light show. Let's enjoy it. So on the outside, the Polish quartet, the Brzezinski starting them off. There we are, the athletes all the way round the track on their marks and in their positions. The light show just adding to a bit of tension. Athletes trying to keep warm out there as well as the temperature drops inside the stadium. William Race, who looked strong in the 200, brought into this. Svensson, who has recently gained eligibility to run for Switzerland. Jimmy Vico, 10.1, his fastest 100 time this year. France winning the title with him in 2010. He was alongside the likes of Christophe Lemaitre, who of course defended his individual title. But the Germans in national record form, and national records were actually required for silver and bronze in 2018. Very strong British team that will be hard to beat though. Surely they just need to focus on getting that baton round, try and beat the competition. The Dutch team won this title 10 years ago in Helsinki with the likes of Chirandi Martina. 37.91 their national record. Belgium, again an outside contender. They do have medals from both of the 4x4s, over which they're usually stronger though. Van der Bemden stepping down from the 4x4 to this 4x1, a great 200 runner. And then Turkey. So runners up 4 years ago in Berlin, and Emre Zafer Barnes and Jacques Ali Harvey remaining from that team. It was delight for Özcan as he crossed the line, knowing that he was 400ths inside the qualifying time in that solo rerun in damp conditions a couple of days ago. So they will be buoyed by the opportunity to once again be back in the final. Maybe spring a surprise. On that occasion, they had Ramil Guliev, of course, who'd won the 200 meters and was the reigning world 200 champion from London 2017. He pulled up in his final, so perhaps they're looking a bit weaker. So now we have silence. Turkey, Belgium, Netherlands, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Germany, France, Switzerland and Poland. The final of the men's 4x1 relay. So the roar of the crowd gets the athletes going then. Decent start for Jeremiah Azu of Britain as we have a look at these first changeovers, and Germany haven't continued. Devastation from the home crowd. Switzerland going well right on the inside, but watch for Britain. Efoloko now has the baton. Someone who's grown in experience this year. Just the one changeover. Vico chasing. But Nethaneel Mitchell-Blake, so experienced at bringing it home, and he wins gold for the British team. France in behind, and looked like Netherlands just got it. It's a championship record though, so had been held since 1990 by the French team, who were ultimately also beaten in this race. No smiles for that German team, who looked so good in qualification. A young team though, and it was the experienced hands of the likes of Hughes and Mitchell-Blake, who joined the youngsters Azu and Efoloko. Brought in the team, of course, the likes of Richard Kilty, injured this year. But fantastic performance from the Brits, a decent winning margin as well. And it's Poland who beat the Netherlands, a national record for them as well. I mentioned they were an outside contender, and in the end they pull it all together to come home to get on the podium as well.
This track has been swift tonight. We saw some brilliant times in the women's sprint hurdles, but two national records, one for Poland, one for Switzerland. Polish team out in lane 8 on their own. I think that was an advantage for them today. They couldn't get distracted by all the drama that was going on in the middle lanes. They stuck to their task superbly well as everything unfolded on the lanes inside of them. It was a brilliant opening leg from Jeremiah Azu of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The German team was stretching. They knew they'd have to do something special to get on the podium, to get anywhere near the likes of Great Britain and France. And ultimately, that first changeover for Germany left them unstuck. Couldn't get the baton off, and we can see they've already exited the race at this stage. Their third leg runner standing forlornly as the rest of the men powered round the bend. Jonah Efoloko of Great Britain and Northern Ireland just inching them ahead of France. Poland out there in lane 8, textbook, perfect technical 4x100. And the French athletes sort of turn out for the books. The French team have struggled a little bit in this championships, but Jimmy Vico, so experienced, lending his help. We can see that second change over there for the German team. I think the lead-off runner didn't go fast enough and wasn't out of the way. The incoming runner just ran into the back of Hartmann, and that ended their chances.
So Britain continue to retain this title. Won back in 2014 and continued all the way since then. And introducing young athletes into the team. Also, France and Poland taking silver and bronze respectively.
And just looking at the splits here, we've got very good timings from the transponders. Really, the credit should, in many respects, obviously it goes to all four of them, goes to Zharnel Hughes for that back straight. That really was the difference in many respects between Great Britain, Northern Ireland and the nearest rivals.
There's the full confirmed time. As you can see there, Poland national record.
After the qualification round, many believed the battle for gold would come down to Great Britain and Germany. The British arrived in Munich as Europe's strongest relay team, while the Germans were full of confidence after setting a national record in the heats. More than 60,000 fans inside the Olympic Stadium believed the home team could make history. From the very first meters, it became clear that every mistake would be costly. Jeremiah Azu gave Great Britain an excellent start and immediately kept his team among the leaders. But in the 4x100 relay, raw speed alone is never enough. Maintaining that speed during baton exchanges is what truly matters. This is where the British team showed its class. Their first exchange was almost flawless, allowing Zharnel Hughes to hit full stride without losing momentum. Once Hughes reached top speed on the backstretch, the race began to shift. His powerful acceleration and ability to maintain maximum velocity created a visible gap over the chasing teams. While the others fought to stay in contention, Britain steadily took control of the race. The defining drama unfolded for Germany. During one of their exchanges, the runners lost synchronization, and a small mistake instantly turned into a disaster. Contact between teammates destroyed their rhythm, and the home crowd's dream of a medal disappeared in a matter of seconds. A stadium that had been roaring with excitement suddenly fell silent. Meanwhile, Great Britain remained composed. Jonah Efoloko ran an excellent bend, preserving the lead heading into the final exchange. France also executed their race well, producing clean handoffs and gradually securing second position while keeping the pressure on the leaders. At the same time, Poland emerged as the surprise story of the final. Not considered a favorite before the race, the Polish team relied on discipline and precision. Every exchange was smooth, every acceleration measured, and every athlete delivered exactly what was required. While higher-profile teams made costly mistakes, Poland quietly climbed into medal contention. On the anchor leg, Nethaneel Mitchell-Blake received the baton with a comfortable lead. With years of experience in major international finals, he remained calm and completely focused on his own race. Ignoring the athletes behind him, he maintained his rhythm and carried Great Britain safely to the finish. When the British team crossed the line, the clock stopped at 37.67 seconds, a new European Championships record. France claimed a well-earned silver medal after a disciplined performance, while Poland produced one of the biggest surprises of the championships by taking bronze and setting a national record. Switzerland also broke its national record, highlighting the incredible quality of the final. This race once again proved the most important truth about the 4x100-meter relay: speed alone does not win championships. Success comes from trust, precision, timing, and the ability to execute every baton exchange under immense pressure. On that night in Munich, Great Britain delivered a masterclass in relay running and showed exactly what championship excellence looks like.